So BMF season 4, episode 6 starts with Terry watching the young child. So I guess they didn't kill him from the last episode, but the little boy basically pleaded for Terry to let him go. So he ended up, sneaking him out of there. And when Loco and Meech came back, Loco was asking where the boy was, and T told him he was in the back room, but he basically lied to him. And him and Loco ended up getting into a fight. Loco front kicked him in the chest. I don't know where he got that move from, but either way, they got into a little quick scuffle, and Meech was able to kind of break it up. But I think Meech was to the point where he was just ready for Terry to get the hell up out of Mexico so he could handle whatever business he needed to handle out there. Now, B. Mickey was supposed to take out Jay Pusher, but he ended up missing. And he had a little conversation with Terry afterwards, and Terry seemed like he kind of done with B. Mickey, and then don't want to be bothered with her no more. But either way, I'm curious to know how Meech feel about it if he ever finds out that B. Mickey been helping Terry this whole time. Now, Pops is sad because his music career is basically over, and he pretty much lost his job, or he just ain't able to work right now. And Lucille ain't really making it no better. The Moors came in and basically took over some old man's house and told them it was their birthright or something. I don't know how they pulled that off. Changed the locks. Just imagine you coming back to your house and the locks had changed and some dudes up in there talking about this deal. Yeah, right. But either way, Jay Pusher pull up and they have a little gunfight right quick. They gunned down people on both sides, and Jay Pusher out to kill them, thinking that they was the one that shot at him when it was really B. Mickey. And Meech has to talk Purdy back into continuing her music career because she was ready to let it go, especially for somebody. If you ain't never been shot before, you probably just ain't gonna want to be involved with whatever got you shot in the first place. And I don't know they'll ever handle that other little dude who was that record label dude was trying to kill her and causing all kind of confusion with Meech them with their business and stuff. So they probably gonna have to handle that dude at some point because he don't seem like he probably gonna go away. He really come across like a little hater, really. And Meech tells his number 2 guy in Atlanta, since Duffy is gone, that he gonna go out to St. Louis and try to set up some stuff and broker peace up there, basically. So now this little dude right here, Detective Brian, gonna be trying to look into him later on because I don't know that guy's name, but whoever that parent was that lost his son on the last season was basically taking pictures and told them that this is the dude that's basically number 2 with Meech. And I think that dude may end up getting killed if he keep playing it too close like that. He doing detective work, but ain't even getting paid for it. Lucille is thinking about trying to get government assistance, and she basically is looking to get Pops out the house. She was riding Pops pretty tough on this season, on this episode. Well, really this whole season. But she's just trying to get help, and I guess they can't really just use Meech and Terry drug money because they'll come back on them. They made a point to not show them on this show accepting money from Meech and Terry. I guess they don't want that to come across like it was happening in real life. Detective Brian brings in Duffy's dad to try to talk him into, basically snitch on Meech just so he can be free. And I think his dad is slowly dying. I want to say he got cancer. But either way, he's trying to talk his son into just basically being a rat and so he can get out and just have some kind of life. But we'll see what Duffy do. Now, Meech went back to St. Louis to try to talk to Slugger about helping him, negotiate peace with some Jay Pusher's ops. And she actually ends up doing it and hooks him up with the Moors later on. Now, Sweetie, I feel like she's doing a decent job of acting on here. It ain't the best ever, but I mean, it was better than what's her name? Young Miami, because her acting on that other scene was horrible. It almost just messed up the whole whatever episode it was. It was just terrible. But Sweetie seemed to be doing an okay job on here. Nikki tells Breeze that she's pregnant, and which was at B. Mickey's wedding. And I think Lucille found out because she seen Breeze holding her stomach. So she kind of put 2 and 2 together and ended up calling her out on it. And then Terry steps in and basically says it thinks it's Worms, baby. So now Lucille thinks she just hoeing around with everybody, which it was pretty mean how she was coming across. And she also snuck a shot in at Pops. He wasn't even doing that. And she just hate that man almost at this point. But either way, Nikki gonna have to figure it out. She seemed to think it's Breeze for some reason, but I think that's Worms, baby. Either way. Jay Pusher's right hand man ended up telling Meech that they sent somebody to, well, T sent somebody to kill Jay Pusher and that he was supposed to take over. So now Meech basically kind of chomping him off a little bit about it and telling him he better let him know everything that's going on up there. Duffy ended up telling Detective Brian that he ain't snitching on Meech, and he basically telling him that BMF is his new family. He pretty much saying it like Meech would have did the same for him, but it just threw me off because we know in real life that pretty much ain't true. Because I think the real Big Meech would have sold anybody out to get out of prison. That's just my opinion. Now Terry tells Worm that Nikki is pregnant, and he's basically forcing him to take care of her and the baby and pretty much marry her. You know, this was like in the 90s, man. Folk don't just marry people no more just because they pregnant. But either way, that boy was questioning whether it was his or not. But I don't think Terry give a damn about that. He's saying you gonna take care of that baby. So I think Word better listen to that before he end up getting killed. Meech ends up linking up with the Moors because I think Slugger, her sister, is married to one of them. So she got a meeting set with him, and he's basically telling them that they need to be doing business with BMF, but the leader is saying that they want Jay Pusher dead. Lucille still trashing Pops, tell him he just been moping around and just cursing him out about his music career and tell him he ain't doing nothing. And she pretty much was saying that she wasted the last 25 years of her life, which she been pretty rough on that, man. I think it's just, because they going broke or whatever, but you can't just take it all out on him. Pops do what he can, man, but boy, she been hard on him this whole season, man. They boom sitting up in Terry's house like he the king of the castle, and Terry basically had to whoop on him a little bit and threw his butt on up out of there, and then got into it with Markeisha because she can't be trusted, and he was basically telling her that his baby mother is the number one woman he can trust. Really and truly, he should have just stayed with his baby mama because Markeisha ain't hitting on that. She trying to play everybody to get where she trying to go. And she just can't be trusted. And now it's got to the point where Pops just don't want to live no more. He basically tells Lucille that, after all that trash she been talking on, and then she basically begging for him to not do that, but she the one been putting them down, making them feel like less than the man. And then Terry had to kind of step in and kind of keep a watch over him and make sure he ain't had no gun on him so he wouldn't kill himself. It was a triggering scene. I had to kind of step away a little bit, but it's hard to watch stuff like that. It don't put you in a good mind space. But either way, Pops was going through it, and sometimes it happened like that with people who feel like they just ain't, providing or doing the best they can, so they just want to take themselves out. But hopefully anybody out there, they just stay strong and try to work their way through it. But it definitely didn't help that Lucille was putting them down, so hopefully Pops can make it through that. Meech has a business meeting with the Moors and, trying to link up and do business with them. But Jay Pusher ends up coming in and basically him and his homie basically killed him. And he tried to gun down Meech, but Meech was able to escape. So now it's pretty much war between them two. And Jay Pusher ended up killing his right-hand man for basically setting him up when B. Mickey tried to kill him. And he peed on him too. Like, God, hey, man. But either way, I think Jay Pusher ain't going for it. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with his character on later on in this season. And I did find out the real J-Bo is, I don't want to say he live in Florida, but I know he was at least down there. So he's not in jail right now. So I don't know if he got something going on with his case or whatnot, but he's free at the moment. So, I'm going to keep up with that, see what's going on with the real J-Bo. Meech ended up calling Terry out about sending a shooter at Jay Pusher behind his back. And they basically just getting into it about business. And also Terry lets him know that Nikki's pregnant and Pops was talking about taking himself out. So Meech just don't know what's going on with his family. He just focused more on business. And I think this is probably the last time they probably going to do business dealings with each other. This seems to be where they really separated it, in my opinion. And see, now we find out that B. Mickey was the one that came to visit Lamar. Because I was wondering about that. And he hyped Lamar up to basically try to go after Meech and Terry so he could step in and save them at the last minute and try to work his way back in there. Now he's thinking that Lamar is dead, but he ain't. So I think it's gonna hit the fan once Lamar, you know, come up out of the shadows and Meech and Terry find out that B. Mickey was the one that tried to set them up. Now he did that to try to provide for his young daughter to get her operation, but still now he's talking about taking out Meech and Terry. So we're gonna see how that play out for B. Mickey. I don't think it's gonna end well for him.